I doubt it. This is a video going around that you've never heard of this guy because that's the way they want it to be. But we'll see how long we want to watch this. It's really good, though. What's his name? This is 4-7. Wild Bill for America.
Blackness fatigue is setting in. America is exhausted from dealing with the never-ending complaints and ingratitude of the black community. Black racism against whites and Asians has reached violent proportions, and with the help and funding of the Democrat Party, militant black racism is getting worse. Well, here's a Wild Bill bullet of truth for America. White Americans are the least racist people in the USA, probably the whole world. We have been non-racist for the last 50 years, but today the Democrat Party is using racism as a political weapon. And white America is exhausted from dealing with blackness that has been coming against them day after day for years. White Americans who have never had a racist thought in their lives are tired of being constantly accused of racism. They're tired of being told that every problem in the black community is the fault of white people, that the massive failures of black cities and neighborhoods and families is our fault. This week, some fruitcake politician declared that blacks violently attacking Asians is caused by white people. No matter what white people do or say, they are slandered as villains by blacks who are determined to punish white Americans simply for being white. They are unappeasable. Now, millions of immigrants came here from England, Poland, Italy, South America, Vietnam, Russia. They came from all around the world, and they were dirt poor when they arrived. But they worked hard and became successful and rich and well-adjusted citizens. So why is it that the African community has remained in poverty for 150 years? We built nice new apartment buildings that quickly became high-crime ghettos. Want to get an education on what's happening in black America? Get on the internet and type in brawls. Restaurant brawls, shopping center brawls, fast food brawls, and look at what you see in those videos. It's not the Germans or the Italians who are turning public places into savage mass fistfights. And it's not the Australians who are walking the streets looking to beat the hell out of some pedestrian simply for having white skin. And it's not the Vietnamese who are burning and looting American cities. And it's not the Russians who are fighting with and sometimes killing our police officers. Now, there are, of course, honorable and respectable men like Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas and Dr. Ben Carson. These men are extremely successful and at the pinnacle of their possessions, but for some inexplicable reason, they are hated and ridiculed by the black community as if their success is somehow a betrayal of their race. Men like Carson and Thomas should be held up as
we get it. I like that guy. Wild Bill for America. So I would just want to end this with a Dave Rubin clip you've already seen. But the reason I'm playing it again is because I can't stress this enough. You need to have some facts stuffed in your pocket that you can pull out like that. So you show the other person you know what you're doing. You know how many run-ins there are with cops in a year? How many interactions they have with the public? 53 million. There are 3 million cops in America, and only 705 die. Now, of that 705, 99.9% of them were attacking cops or being violent in some way. As far as innocent, unarmed, it's about 6 a year. The same as spider bites. Have that ready. Have that at the go. So go to this clip.
Tell me what you think the most systemic racist issue is. What is it?
Well, I would say that because black people in most cases, in many cases, were descendants of slaves, that racism as an institution, that it just, a certain amount of it just exists.
2015? Give me the most blatant racist
slavery,
example you can come up with right now.
Racism is around. What? So we see someone whose great-great-great-great-grandfather was a slave, and we go, loser, you slave. What about Australians? They're descendants of criminals. No one looks at Australians besides the Chinese and says, "Tch, you criminal." How does it feel coming from Criminal Island? What a dumb insult. I'm sure they get that and they just laugh it off. Yeah, it is Criminal Island and you're not invited. You would love to move here.
Oh yeah, don't come here. There's too much crime. I'd stay right where you are.
Glad you like Australia. Don't tell your friends. It's a very, very difficult place to emigrate to.
Evidence that, in general, cops are more willing to shoot if the perpetrator is black.
What's your data
than white?
What's your basis for saying that? Last year...
Well, look, I know a lot of people would say, look what's going on in Chicago.
I know what they would say.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what the facts are. 965 people were shot by cops last year and killed. 4% of them were white cops shooting unarmed blacks. In Chicago in 2011, 21 people were shot and killed by cops. In 2015, there were 7. In Chicago, which is a third black, a third white, and a third Hispanic, 70% of the homicides are black on black. About 40 per month, almost 500 per year last year in Chicago, and 75% of them are unsolved. Where is the Black Lives Matter on that? The idea that a racist white cop and shooting unarmed black people is a peril to black people is BS. It's complete and total BS.
Yeah, that's it.
And the reason for these so-called activists saying this is the assumption that racism remains a major problem in America. The media, CNN, especially MSNBC, runs down whenever a black cop shoots somebody.
You've got to have your stats ready.
He eviscerated him.
48B. This is what it's like to be a cop. This is your job, okay? You ring the doorbell, and you got to wonder, is someone going to shoot me in the face today?
Shit.
It's funny because
I have to follow this guy.
Black dudes like Dante Nero, they say, oh, really? They say, every time I get in my car, I don't know if I'm going to come home alive. And that's not true. But what is true is every time a cop gets in his car, he doesn't know if he's going to go home alive. Anyway, I guess the clip, you have to follow the guy on Instagram. But it's one of these steel gate kind of doors, you know, with the sort of lacy, ornate iron thing. A steel door. And the cop's like, open the door, open the door. And the guy just, as the door opens, just goes, pew! And shoots him. And you see it on his cop cam. Like, can you live in an environment like that?
This isn't it here in the middle, right? Because I'm trying to see if there's some overlap, but mob and shiz.
No.
It was just that guy's?
No.
Oh, shit.
We'll get it next time.
Yeah. Teaser.
Or this story. No reporting on this